What's going on, guys? You got Sean and Mike with talking through the media as we're going to be going over Deus Ex, everything Deus Ex. So, in the next, I think it's like a day and a half, we have the official release to Deus Ex Mankind Divided, which I believe is part 4 in the Deus Ex series. Mike, I know you know this series. What do you know about the Deus Ex series?
Well, I have played the first Deus Ex. I played the one on PS2, the first one on PS2 when it came out. I also played the second one. I don't remember the name of the second one.
The Invisible War.
Invisible War. Not such a great game. Don't remember much from it except I didn't enjoy it very much. It was on Xbox. And then I just recently, because of the release of Mankind Divided coming out in a couple days, I picked up Human Revolution. I've been playing the shit out of it, and it's really fucking good. So I'm pumped.
I'm kind of on the what I guess the purists would rag on me because I played part of the second one. I did not play the first one just because at that time it was a PC exclusive and I did not have a PC at the time. However, I played the ever living shit out of Human Revolution. I still think that had the single-handedly one of the, if not, I'd say probably in my top 3 to top 5 favorite video games I ever played. I thought that the soundtrack to it is phenomenal. I own the soundtrack. I don't know if you've really sat down and if you YouTube Human Revolution Deus Ex soundtrack OST, beautiful. The action is great. I like the fact that it doesn't force you into one particular way of doing things. I've heard that you can basically go through like 99% of the game and not even have to kill a single individual if that were to be the choice that you chose to go down that route. However, I was more like the lethal enforcer, and I basically everybody I came across. I took no prisoners. And I've heard that and they made you kill the bosses. I'll rephrase.
Of course, yeah.
You had to kill the bosses, and that was the biggest complaint that I remember of people about the game was that the boss battles. They didn't like the boss battles. I remember dying I don't know if you remember, there was one where you were fighting this chick with augmented legs and you were in water and like a basement and you kept getting, she would like electrocute you. I swear to God, I died so many times. It's just, it's one of those moments where you're just like, fuck this game, and you just
throw your controller at the screen.
Fuck this game, but I powered through and I beat it. So some of the things I really liked about the game, like I said, the music was phenomenal. So the immersion and the atmosphere, I thought it had one of the coolest tones of any games I've ever played. Like just the vibe that the game put off, and the fact that you had these really, and I'm not going to say intimate is not the right word, but a semi-intimate kind of conversation with people, and you could watch the character's face on the screen, and you know how it gave you multiple choices when you're discussing things. You could tell just by looking at the expression on the individual on their faces if the conversation was going wrong, and you might be able to salvage it if you start picking the right answers, or you've just completely fucked it and it's not going to go your way. There was no, it's not, I also like the fact that the paths that you were able to take to get to your objective were not linear. You could go through the front door, you could go through the roof, you could go through the back door, you could crawl through the AC vents. You didn't have to do anything one particular way. And so this led to me playing the campaign probably, I think I played it 4 times through. And which sounds a little bit ridiculous, but it
sounds insane.
It does. But you get these things, these little, I think they're called praxis points.
Yeah, praxis.
Where you get to augment yourself. And guys, so real quick before I go into that, basically, Deus Ex 3: Human Revolution, which is how I got started in the series. The story basically goes that you are a security personnel for a company, I believe it's Seraph Industries,
yep.
I believe, and which basically is a company that makes limbs, artificial limbs, should we say.
Or augments.
Augmentations. They sell augmentations. And the big driving factor in the story in this game is that, yeah, they've developed these incredible augmented limbs and lungs and all kinds of stuff, but the catch is that you have to take a drug. Otherwise, your body rejects the augmentation, and basically you die a horrible death. So the story loop kind of goes that these industries, whether it be the Seraph Industries, there's a couple of them in the game. The ones that control the manufacturers of the limbs and the pharmaceutical companies are more powerful than the governments themselves because you have to have the drug. So basically, it implies that even rich people go broke because they have to have this drug. And so you're this dude who works for one of these companies that manufacture these limbs, and you in the very beginning of the game, and it has a you remember the cutscene for this, Mike? What happens?
Disgusting.
Yeah, he basically, the main character in this basically
fucked up real bad. That's what happens.
He basically gets thrown through a piece of glass that's about 2 inches thick, and he gets fucked up. And so they basically spend a fortune rebuilding this guy, and he's, I guess, RoboCop is the word that comes to mind. And the
Robo Jensen.
Man, that's right. And the cut scenes in this were absolutely gorgeous. I don't know, man. I was just floored with this game. I loved it so much. And now we are less than 2 days from the release for the sequel, Mankind Divided. I have intentionally not read a bunch of reviews. I glanced. If you go to like Metacritic, you type in Deus Ex Mankind Divided review, and you'll see like an average score. But I didn't read like specific reviews because I just don't want to have any kind of spoilers. You know how reading reviews is kind of like a love-hate relationship, Mike?
I agree completely.
Where it's like you're fascinated to read it, you want to know what they think, but it fucks up your own opinion. For me, sometimes, like, I would rather just watch something or play something and then go back after I form my opinion about it and then read it and be like, what did I think compared to these guys? Because when you read it before, I don't care.
With expectations.
Yeah, or your expectations get lower, get higher, or that kills me, man. That kills me. I don't know. Have you read anything? Have you read any of the reviews or glanced at anything?
I have watched a single video basically summarizing a couple of early reviews for the game.
So what have you heard?
I have heard a couple of mixed things. I've heard a lot of mixed things about the environment.
The city, the location.
The city, whatever it's called. I forgot what it's called.
I think it's
basically, yeah. I've heard that it's very generic, kind of dirty, neopunk noir kind of thing.
Neopunk, cyberpunk.
Yeah, cyberpunk, whatever. And I've heard that it feels very similar to the previous game. The gameplay hasn't really improved much. It feels kind of dated. But if you're into the style of Human Revolution, then you are going to go amazing for Mankind Divided, because basically Human Revolution with prettier graphics is what I've heard.
I have seen some of the video footage and some of the screenshots, and from what I understand from the benchmarks on this game, it is a hardware hog. So for those of you who do not have $500 video cards and your PCs, I would recommend that you go ahead and get the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One version of this game, because you will not be able to run this at high settings, supposedly, unless you have a monster-ass computer, which is a shame, because my computer used to be monster, but now it's, I built it in 2013, so now it's antiquated. I don't know. The rumor goes is that the consoles are locked at 30 frames per second, and I believe it's on the Xbox One, I think it's 900p upscaled to 1080p. I think the PlayStation 4 is native 1080p, and they're both locked at 30 frames per second. The PC, of course, opens the doors. You can game at 4K if you have the fortune to pay for that. But I am excited, man. And why, to me, this is so relevant right now is because not only is this game going to be awesome. I know it's going to be awesome. I don't care what anybody says. This is going to be awesome. But I think that this particular game, because we are in the day and age we are right now, where video game movies are starting to become a little bit more acceptable, like the idea of it, Before it was just like we had shit like Mario Brothers and Street Fighter, and you're just like, oh my God. But now, honestly, I want your opinion about this. If you look at the storyline following the Deus Ex game you played, do you think that they could make a cool mini-series out of this? I don't think a movie is I'm sorry, did I say movie before? I don't think a movie is appropriate for this, because the story is too deep to put into a 2-hour movie. I think that this would be like Stranger Things, 8 episodes. We get 8 episodes. I think that this would be a brilliant mini-series. What do you think?
I mean, I agree with you. The story is very dynamic and free flowing. The only problem that I could possibly see with the it becoming some sort of other form of media is the choices that you make. Like it's a choose your own adventure type game, like akin to Fallout or Skyrim or whatnot. But the problem is, you know, when you go into a game like this, you have an idea of how you want to play it, but when it translates to film, that's already written out. So I can see how that could become a problem, you know. But if it's not directly, you know, translate the same exact story from the game to a different medium, and it's just in the same universe, I could totally see it.
Yeah, like kind of like not exactly like the game, but in the same vein of the fact that it's about, you know, a world where humans have been augmented, and the fact that the governments are no longer the controlling powers. It's more about who is the big billion-dollar industries and what do we control, what can we do with the people as a whole. And technology. I think that this could be I think that they could use groundbreaking special effects in a series like this. And I know that this is, unless you're a gamer, you're probably never going to ever hear about this. As a matter of fact, a lot of my friends who are gamers have never played any of these games before. And it's a shame because it's like, dude, it's so brilliant. You really just need to sit down.
Great game,
and I've had ones that have tried it. I've even bought a copy of it for one of my friends. And he tried it for about 2 hours, and he's like, it's just too complicated. And I'm like, it's not complicated. It's almost too simple. But, you know, to each their own, whatever. It's cool.
Yeah.
You said something a minute ago that reminded me, and I think I'd talked with Chris, guys. Chris is doing the daddy thing tonight, guys, so Chris is not here. You mentioned Fallout. I had a long conversation, I don't remember, this was a while back, about how Fallout, sorry to go off the path here, guys, ADD moment, but Fallout would make a brilliant TV show, I think.
Which Fallout are we talking about, though? 3, New Vegas?
3 or you know,
4?
I think starting with the humor and the art direction and stuff with 3, I loved 3. I don't know. I may like 4 better. I think I've put a little bit. I think I've played more Fallout 4 because I put all the DLCs and all that stuff.
Okay.
I do think that when I played 3, because I didn't play the first 2 Fallouts. I don't know if you played the first 2 Fallouts.
No, much too dated for my liking.
All right, so the first 2 Fallouts were like over the top. You're like a little dude, and this one was like third person, first person. But going back to what we were talking about. The fact that it could be made to a miniseries, it's so like rich with availability and where can we go with this, because the humor and the storyline, you could do anything with that series. Just like with Deus Ex, you can go crazy with that shit, and people won't. I mean, I don't know. Hold on a second. And here comes Chris's cut. All right, so we're going to pause here for a second.
Go for it.
Chris, cue the editing right here. Okay, so we went over the release date, and I hope he doesn't fucking leave this in there. Watch, he probably will be like, oh, I just like skipped to the end.
He straight up uploads it just like this. Conversation in the middle.
All right, guys, just B-roll makes it in there. So we talked about the release date. We talked about the why it's great. Talked about the fact that it could be a miniseries. I don't know if we delved in too much about that. Is there anything you want to go over before, and then we'll cut back in, and hopefully he will chop this shit.
Let's see. I guess we should go over a little bit about the gameplay, just in case people don't know about it, because it's like we could talk about the different styles that we took playing Human Revolution. You know?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll let you start this out. So I'm gonna introduce you here. So give me a countdown.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
All right, so for those of you out there who are not familiar at all with Deus Ex and the game and what it incorporates and what basically it's a hybrid, I would say. Would you say, Mike? I think it's kind of a hybrid.
Yeah, I would say it's a hybrid shooter, stealth shooter, and an RPG. I guess it depends on how you play it exactly. I took a much more stealth-orientated approach to everything. Always looking for a vent or a manhole to try and get in through enemy lines. The only nitpick I have with that stealth style is when you start the game, you have 2 of those little battery things at the top, which prevent you from using too many takedowns. And playing from a stealth perspective, that is tough to start out playing stealth. But it's a great stealth game. It's super duper fun. The environment is so open. Like you were saying earlier, Sean, there's so many different ways and opportunities to get where you want to go, to do a mission, and you can do any mission anytime. So, it's an amazing game. I love the city that it takes place in too. Great environment.
For those of you guys, I know the first-person shooter is like the biggest thing in the world now, but it didn't used to be so commonplace. But basically, you walk around in a first-person perspective. You see your arms, you see your guns, but there is a cover system incorporated in the game, which
yes,
is my favorite part, because then this game, both of them, and this one even more so, they are beautiful. So when you hit the cover button, the camera will zoom out to a third-person perspective, and you will get to see your entire character model. And it's almost like he's made out of carbon fiber, his limbs, his arms and stuff.
Has those shards in him.
Man, and he's got like these titanium Kevlar-coated blades that come out. Like Mike was saying, you can do these takedowns where if you sneak up behind somebody, you hit the button, and like you said, you get a little bar in the corner of the screen where you only can do it so many times, and you got to wait for it to recharge. So they don't want you to just run around stink, doing it to everybody. You have to kind of plan this out a little bit. But then you get power-ups and one of my favorite ones to do was the Icarus landing system. I don't know if you got that one.
Where you just blow everything away. You jump from however high and just blow
everything away. He jumps and he does like this Neo thing, like from the Matrix, where he jumps off a high building, and then he does like this magnetic propulsion thing right before he hits the ground, and it shows your character when you do it. He's all like, ugh. It just stops right before you impact into the ground, which is really helpful if you're being chased. Jump off the building, or if you want to land on somebody, jump off the building.
Yep.
Like you were saying, you get the ability to throw out like these ball bearings that explode in every direction, which is some of the gunfights in this were so damn frustrating that you just get.
Oh, definitely. Oh my goodness.
You just get killed so many times. You know what the gun I used the most in this game actually was, though?
The 10mm pistol, because
that's
what I've been using. Yep, that's what I've been using.
Shoot him in the fucking eye every time. And I played this on the PC. I recommend you guys, if you have a PC that is powerful, skip the consoles, because at least for me with Human Revolution, because I played both versions. I played the PC and I played the console version. I didn't finish the console version because I felt like the controls were kind of wonky and very inaccurate. When I'm a PC. I started as a PC gamer, so my hand-eye coordination with the mouse is a lot more accurate. It just felt like there was almost like a lag, or not a lag is not the right word. It was just too slow to react to turn when you're aiming. But yeah, I mean, you have a huge array of weapons, and they're all customizable. You can trick them out. It's pretty sweet, actually. But when it boiled down to it, I just used the pistol and just went for eye shots the entire time. And most of the enemies, you shoot them once, twice in the head. That's it.
And they're done. Yep.
Saves you a lot of stress of trying to find all the ammo for the different guns. Let me ask you something. When you were playing this, did you stop and read all the computers?
I've read a lot of emails. I've been going through the police station. Going through the police station in that one side mission right at the beginning of the game, and you get to go on all the computers and stuff. I've been reading a lot of emails.
It's like Fallout.
A lot of emails. Just like Fallout, those little magazines and those little notes that you find in the vaults or in the safes.
And some of this stuff is like completely non-relevant stuff. It really doesn't have anything. Yeah, it's just like personal emails. Like, did you close the refrigerator? Just weird random shit. But still, you will get so immersed in this. At least for me, and I played this with a headset on in the dark in my media room. I got lost. I swear to God, man, I must have sat down and played some of these sessions where at late at night, guys. I work during the day, but I mean, my wife was mad because I'd sit down there and play like 4 or 5 hours at a time and just get lost in this world. And that's kind of like Fallout. I don't know about for you, but when I play Fallout, like I get sucked into it, and I just can't stop playing it for like hours on end.
I could go in and talk about Fallout for like 12 hours. I love the Fallout series.
Mm-hmm. And that VAT aiming system.
That VATS, yep. When you slow down, get the neat bullet time thing going on.
The only thing I didn't like about Part 4 was that they didn't let you do like in Part 3 with the hand grenade in the VAT system where it would show it like. I don't recall you being able to use the hand grenade in the VAT system for 4. I think they took that out.
I just didn't like in 4 how it doesn't completely stop time. Everyone's still moving. It became more of a shooting game
Yeah,
at that point.
but they are moving pretty slow.
Yeah.
But they got a new DLC coming out. The nuke, is it the Nuke Town or whatever?
Yeah, it's like a amusement park. Yeah.
Yeah, Did you play the Far Harbor?
You know what? I have a guilt.
Yeah,
I'm guilty of doing something here. So I'm not a lover of Fallout 4 like everyone else is. Sadly, I enjoyed the game very much, but I much prefer, and I'm probably gonna get hanged on a cross for this because I'm probably the only person on earth that thinks that New Vegas is the best Fallout game.
Do you think New Vegas is better than 3?
I could go on a whole like rant about why I think Fallout New Vegas is the best Fallout game.
Well, if that's what you like, that's what you like. I mean, everybody can go suck it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But Fallout 4 is a good game. I haven't gotten around to playing the DLC yet. I'm definitely waiting for that Game of the Year edition to come out. And I'll pick it up then.
So, I think that from what we've read and what I mean, just speculating, just looking at the screenshots, I think that the gameplay is going to be very similar to Human Revolutions. I do think
from a lot of what I've heard is just it's going to be the same exact
a slicker looking Human Revolution.
Just a prettier version, basically, is what it is, which is nice. I don't mind. I enjoy the gameplay. So
man, when I finished Human Revolution, my one regret was like, damn, it's over. I have to wait like 5 or 6 or I don't even know how many years because it had been so long since the last one came out, and you're just like, it's like when you finish your favorite show and you binge it and it's done.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, damn it, I gotta wait for the next season to come out. So, any closing thoughts or expectations about going into the next day and a half release, Mike, on Deus Ex?
Well, I'm definitely picking it up within the next 24 hours.
You getting it at launch? You buying it at launch?
I'm getting it at launch.
What are you buying? I'm getting it on
Xbox One because I don't have a strong enough PC or PS4 anymore. So
you got rid of the
Xbox. I got rid of the PS4. It just was sitting there collecting dust, so I got rid of it.
So for those of you guys who don't know, Mike was a PS4 gamer, and then
converted me.
And then we guilt tripped him a T3M to get an Xbox One, and now I guess he's playing Xbox One. So what do you think? Real quick in closing thoughts. Oh, no, sorry guys, we're going on ADD tangent. What do you think of the differences for those who have not? I've tried both, but for those of you who have not tried the Xbox and the PlayStation 4, what do you think the difference is?
They both have their strengths. I would say that the Xbox One is a definitely more sleeker, easy to use console than the PS4 is initially.
Are you talking about the interface, the menus?
Yeah, definitely the interface. One gripe I have against the Xbox that the PS4 doesn't have really is installing before playing the games. Really, with the PS4, you just pop in the disc, it installs in like 2-3 seconds, and you're ready to go. It'll just update the game in the background. But with an Xbox, you have to install probably like 20 to 30% of the game, and then you can finally get going. But small gripe. Other than that, I think the Xbox is a really good console as well.
I'm a little different on this because I don't buy games at the store anymore. I do the Netflix version, and I buy digital, so it downloads it. Yeah. It's good. And then if I get rid of my Xbox, bam, it's in. I've got like 60 games in my uninstalled library right now because that 500 gig hard drive, I thought that was a huge number.
Enough. It's not enough.
It is not enough. Like I really need to.
It's not enough.
Because you can hook an external hard drive up to this machine, right?
Yeah.
You get like a 2 or 3 gig, but even 2 or 3 gigs, I couldn't put all my games on there. So
no way, not even close.
I don't know. I think at some point they're going to, and this is a whole nother conversation for a whole nother topic. But the speculation goes is that instead of us having hardware consoles, is that we will just have basically an access port to where we have a little tiny box and a controller, and it uses the bandwidth uses obviously is, I don't know if it's capable right now completely smooth. But you were basically, supposedly, in the future, you will not have a console in your house. It will just stream everything from the servers from Microsoft or Sony.
See, but PS4 has tried that, though. They tried that with that PlayStation Now stuff, and I've tried it and didn't work very well.
Again, like I said, I don't know if the bandwidth is up to it yet, but we will be there at some point. And
eventually,
think about it this way. I don't know if you've thought about this, Mike. What, in your opinion, is the biggest problem about buying a console?
Besides the money?
Not the money. From a gaming perspective, what is the problem of owning a console?
Well, you can go a couple different ways with this. You can go with exclusive games, really, with not being able to play both PS4, Xbox, Nintendo, whatever exclusive that you want to play. And it's not as strong as a PC, which is everyone's doing right now.
You're going in the right direction. Both of those things. Okay, so yes, he did touch on the fact that if I have a blah, 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 then I bought it, blah, 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 and then I buy a blah, 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 it may not play games from blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
But if you don't actually have the console in your house, it's just hooked up to an access port that runs to a server, they do all the emulation for you. You're just gaining access to it. So theoretically, you will do nothing. You will just pay for your subscription, and you can play whatever the hell you want. And in that same note, you don't have a console in the house, so your console with its non-PC power becomes irrelevant. You will have something that's maybe way better than someone's gaming PC because you don't have hardware in your house. It's all hooked up to supercomputers in fucking Langley.
Way down in CIAville.
Yeah, think about it. Think about that shit. Now, I think it'll be a long time before this actually happens because these hardware manufacturers are going ape shit with how much money they make off this stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, that's just us
a whole
ranting.
Conversation for a whole another time. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can go on about this for days, though.
Oh yeah. So in closing, guys, in the next day and a half, pick up your copy of Deus Ex Mankind Divided, whether it be on Xbox, PC, PS4. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, put it down in the box. Click subscribe. We are coming up on 800 subscribers. Man, I did not think I'd see that day.
Time flies.
Man, it does. And soon after that, we will be at 1,000, and we will be giving away one of those said consoles. Closing thoughts, Mike.
Anyway, guys, like Sean said, guys, get an Xbox One. Basically, if you win that console thing, you can play with us. That'd be pretty sick. But other than that, yeah, definitely go pick up Deus Ex. I would try Human Revolution first if you like it. You can pick it up for I bought it for $1 at GameStop. So
what?
Pick it up for $1. You can pick it up for a freaking $1, guys.
You bought it for $1?
I could go get the case.
The best dollar you ever spent.
$1.78 or some shit like that.
Man, I paid $60 for that bastard.
That's why you got to wait a couple years, guys, for those ones you're not sure about. But that's beside the point. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother time. I would definitely go check it out. If you have an Xbox 360 or PS3 or a PC, go check it out. And then if you like it, go pick up this new one because it looks fucking sick. And we'll probably talk about it on next week or week after that.
I'm going to binge this shit. And
you're fucking.
I'm a
200-hour game.
I am a night owl, so I'm going to, just for you guys and for myself, mostly being selfish just because I want to, I'm going to binge the shit out of this, and we're going to do a binge review. And I will try not to say anything to Mike about this until after he's played it. So, Mike, you won't want to watch that video because I'm not going to give crucial spoilers, but I'll run around the pond. I just won't dive in.
It'll be enough. Yeah,
just enough. So, in the meantime, guys, keep watching the movies, playing the games, killing nibs.